So Alain Connet, one of the greatest pure mathematician of our time, is still alive, and a man with incredible wit. And he invented non-commutative geometry, something which would have solved all the problem with quantum mechanics for Einstein. Einstein was influenced by his teacher. He didn't start with geometry. It was Minkowski, Hermann Minkowski, his teacher, who brought him into space-time with 4 dimensions. And he excelled in that, Einstein. But he couldn't see how A multiplied with B is not equal B multiplied with A, which is basic to quantum mechanics, non-commutativity, in a geometry. He couldn't see it. Well, if Alain Connet was there then, he would have shown him how geometry can be non-commutative. Then I think Einstein would have said, okay, then quantum mechanics. He didn't say it's wrong. He said it's not complete. I think he would say it is complete. Then I must mention a very talented applied mathematician, Atif Hilal, who was very, very helpful. He's from University of Cairo, and also a very talented expert on topology who worked with us, and this is Shukri Nader. I think that is mainly the people who worked on the theory, but there is an engineer, a British engineer. Without him, neither NASA nor myself would have came to the idea of interstellar travel without energy. The energy is in space, and that is Roger Scheuer, I think you pronounce his name a bit. Right. He was an engineer, no professor in university, engineer with British Airways, and he said this idea, and he called it, I dispute the name, but he called it EM drive, electromagnetic drive. And it must be also an ordeal for him when 20 years or 15 years ago, when he proposed this thing, everybody says it's wrong, and now everybody says it's right. And as if he have nothing to do with it, I think we have to say it was a British engineer who had this idea first. With that, I think I covered at least the minimum what you have to acknowledge the people who helped you and come to the realization you are just a very small part in a very big machine. But I overlooked a few things when I was explaining why the golden mean number system. And here I want you to remember, sometime, this is the lesson we learned from deterministic chaos. Small effect, a small cause, very small, minute, have enormous effect. They call it the butterfly effect. Exaggerated way to understand what chaos about, deterministic chaos about. If in California, a butterfly move its wing, it could be a reason for a hurricane, like the one we had in Florida, when I was with you. The butterfly effect. There is small, but giant leaps, which people take for granted now. You don't know even who is the first who invented. It was invented in India, the zero. Nobody ever wrote number using zero. The Roman definitely didn't. But the Indian had the insight. Somebody in India had the insight to invent zero. And it was the Arab, it was a big civilization at this time. Very, very big civilization. At the time where Europe would call the Dark Ages. This was the most wonderful ages in Arabia. And inventing the zero, this is a number. You think, wow, zero is nothing, so why should we write it? In the number system, zero is so important. If zero is on the left side, it is not important. If it's the other side, become 10, And then Fibonacci.
Leonardo of Pisa.
Leonardo of Pisa, the man who wrote this book. And everybody was saying, you want us to write like this savage Saracenians, they call them, the Arab numbers, which you think they are Latin, they are Arab numbers. And they are not Arab numbers, really, they are Indian numbers. So the Arab numbers are Indian, and they are your numbers, which you are using it. And we are using now the Indian in Arabia. We don't use our numbering. But the system is the same. 1 is 1, 0 is 0, 2 is 2, only written differently. And Fibonacci introduced Europe. And the Fibonacci series, as you know from your book, complete added conversion to the golden mean. And then when you think about it, then you find that is a way far superior to binary or any other system used, even in computer, even in quantum computer. It is the golden mean number system. So imagine now how the civilization would have gone another way if we were still using the Roman number system. The Roman with their vast empire and prestige, so that even the Greek were, where they got all the civilization, were nothing and not really respected so much in Rome, because what respected was warlord and occupying country and being fasting. But you could not write a differential equation. Maybe then it's good, because when we differentiate, we ruin quantum mechanics. But in any case, we couldn't have done anything for our civilization. And therefore, I would say it's a conjecture. I cannot prove it right now. If we take over the golden mean numbering system, that will be an equal revolution in science and technology beyond your imagination, because nobody would have imagined that the lousy invention of a little zero could really make us now where we are now. And I would say most of the problem is caused by the habit of looking upon anybody who proposes the golden mean, let alone the golden mean numbering system, as numerology or crackpottery or whatever, all this cheap, easy word which we invented to insult the other with different understanding and deeper understanding of things. And also, I would have said, one of the miraculous things, this contour point was already known to a German philosopher, statesman, and mathematician who had a very unpleasant quarrel with Isaac Newton, because he invented the flux, which means the calculus, which means integration and differentiation, while Newton also invented it. And you know this story of, it doesn't matter who invented it, we have it, thanks to these people. And Newton can consider himself standing on the giant like Leibniz. Actually, at this point, I have to defend Leibniz. He was never really very concerned if he invented that or not. He was not that concerned. I think Leibniz was, again, a kind of garnet ore. While Newton, if I become a little bit big head, something like me, he wanted to be the one who, whatever belonged to me. But I think this is also a very narrow-minded point, which I think I should not care about. It doesn't matter who found this Cantorian theory first, or who contributed to it most. If it becomes useful to humanity, that would be the day, and that would compensate for anything, including the vicious attack which was launched against us. So we didn't take anything. We didn't take mines or gold mines, or I don't know where this attack come from, except the prehistoric nature of man before he became civilized. You know, he had to fight with animal and with the blitz from the sky. I hope that we will all become again old-fashioned with regard to science and be grateful to whoever created this universe, that we are privileged instead of working in something very boring in order to sustain our life. We are able to think about this great, nice thing and sustain our life. We don't want to be rich, but just to have food and a house, that'll be okay.